A family's worst nightmare becomes a reality when a loving husband and father is attacked in the dead of the night.
It tore us up. It broke us down.
It was just utter disbelief.
As the investigation heats up, secrets swirl about multiple affairs.
She was a much older woman.
When he was cornered, he said, yes, we did have sex. Yes, we are involved.
But could a twisted bond between these May-December lovers enable a killer to get away scot-free?
It all kind of came to a head.
He completely denied setting the Pontiac Grand Dam on fire.
This will come back to haunt you.
They're scandalous, and then there's this case, and you just can't make stuff like this up.
June 27, 2003. It's early morning in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, a town located less than an hour's drive from Philadelphia.
It's an old steel town, which, like a lot of Pennsylvania steel towns, has come on some hard times.
Though this blue-collar community has its fair share of crime, no one could anticipate the call 911 dispatchers would receive at 5:30 that morning.
911, what's your emergency?
Oh my God, somebody just broke into my house.
The caller is 30-year-old Sharmella Morris.
Sharmella said 2 people had just broken into the home that she shared with her 30-year-old husband, Demario, and their 2 young daughters.
They bound her hands, they bound her feet.
Are the intruders still in the house?
Oh, no, but my husband, he's hurt.
Her husband had been stabbed multiple times. He's bleeding profusely. She tries to locate a pulse, but he's non-responsive.
The operator immediately dispatches first responders to the scene.
First responders converge at the Morris home on South Chester Avenue.
Police, open up!
When they found her, she had a nightgown on with blood on it.
Sharmella had managed to break free from the ties around her feet, but her hands were still tied.
Please hurry, my husband, he's been stabbed.
Are you the only one in the house?
As police climb the stairs, Sharmella informs them her 2 young children are in the house as well.
Her 2 daughters were in the room next door. They were sound asleep.
One down to bed. Got it.
In the master bedroom, first responders encounter a horrific scene.
They found Demario's body lying on his bed. He was face down, covered in a pool of blood.
There's no pulse. Looks like he's gone.
Tragically, they were too late to do anything. Her husband was already dead.
Soon, news of the apparent murder on South Chester Avenue will engulf the town of Coatesville like a violent storm. And as the tempest intensifies, it will wreak havoc on everything and everyone in its path.
I cried like a baby. I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I haven't been the same since.
Born in 1970, Demario Morris grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he rose to local fame as a street artist who tagged under the pseudonym Blaze.
That boy had graffiti all down the busway. He was a fantastic artist. I mean, this boy could draw. You know how people have a gift? His gift was art.
Though the city served as Demario's canvas, he set his sights on being more than just a graffiti artist.
I think he saw that where he lived in Pittsburgh was a dead end, and he joined the Navy as a way of getting out of Pittsburgh. He certainly was looking to better himself.
When 20-year-old Demario came home on leave one weekend in 1990, he wasn't looking for love. But nevertheless, he found it.
Look like you got a lot of bass over here.
The young woman was 18-year-old Sharmella Terry.
Demario.
Nice to meet you.
He was in the service during this time when they met.
As Sharmella and Demario talked that day, they both saw something they liked.
He was a person who liked to crack jokes and laugh all day.
He was more outgoing than she was. Sharmella was a quiet person.
Whenever Demario was granted leave, he made a beeline for Pittsburgh and to Sharmella.
This boy was coming down my house all the time.
What are you doing here?
Though the couple cherished their time together, they were always left wanting more.
I'm only in town for a few days, and I want to spend them all with you.
They loved each other hard.
He was supposed to have been just on a leave, but the leave just got real long. And I'm like, well, when are you going back? I'm not going back, Mom. If the people come here looking for you, I'm letting them in. You know, we're laughing about it and stuff.
So it came as no surprise to friends and family that when Demario left the Navy less than a year later, he moved back home to be with Sharmella. Not long after that, the young lovebirds received an unexpected but welcome surprise.
She got pregnant, she had the baby. They was happy, and I was happy too.
So how's baby girl?
She's doing good, and I finally got her to sleep.
Following the birth of their daughter in 1991, the couple made the move to Coatesville and finally tied the knot. They vowed to build the best life possible for their growing family.
DeMario worked at a manufacturing plant that made industrial insulation. He was a valuable and well-regarded employee by all accounts.
He was a quick learner. But most importantly, he got along with everybody.
Sharmella was a counselor at the Pennsylvania Clinical School, which is a facility for juvenile sex offenders.
She just always talked about being around kids, trying to set them with positive attitude.
By 1997, Sharmella and DeMario now had 2 beautiful daughters, 2 good-paying jobs, and a lovely home. The couple showered their daughters with love and affection.
They had everything under the sun you could ask for. Beautiful rooms. They dressed nice. They went to nice schools.
And over the next 5 years, life only got better as DeMario's star continued to rise at work.
He proved he could solve problems in unique ways. He was kind of a think outside the box sort of person. And I think that was part of being an artist, if you will. And that was what led to him being a group leader, a production supervisor.
Then in late 2002, DeMario's boss presented him with the chance of a lifetime.
Why don't you girls go ahead and wash up for me?
He had been offered a promotion and an opportunity to move to Houston, Texas.
Most of our business was in Houston. It became obvious that we needed to have a location down there. We certainly didn't want to hire all new people, and we weren't going to find somebody like DeMario that do every part of our business on the production side.
He was going to be supervising this new plant.
He would have been in charge of onboarding the new employees, training, and making sure their production quotas were up to snuff.
I have one question. Are you excited about this move?
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
She wanted to try to better her life and her husband's life. She was excited to start a new journey.
But just days before the family was set to move, the couple was attacked in their own home, and DeMario's life taken in horrific fashion.
To be victims of a home invasion, bound, and then DeMario murdered in his vicious way, it was just unbelievable.
DeMario's the first person I've ever known that had been murdered. We were very saddened by the situation that left his daughters without a father and a mother in shock.
It's a tragedy.
But when the facts of the case begin to emerge, not even Sharmella will be able to protect her poor girls from the terrible truth.
It's just something that has torn my whole family apart.
After 12 blissful years of marriage, Pennsylvania natives Sharmella and DeMario Blaze Morris were looking forward to beginning a new chapter of their lives in Houston, Texas.
He received a promotion.
They were moving up like the Jeffersons.
But just days before their big move, tragedy strikes the Morris family.
On June 27, 2003, Sharmella makes a call to 911. And she lets them know, my husband has been stabbed, he's bloodied, someone has broken into our home.
After paramedics examined Sharmella for signs of serious injury, detectives asked her to recount the night's events.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Sharmella said that she'd been punched in the back of the head by the perpetrators.
Ma'am, we are going to find out who did this to you and your husband.
But it's Sharmella's emotional suffering that seems to be taking the biggest toll.
She called me, she said, Mom, all these detectives are at the house. Blaze is dead. I didn't know what to say. I love Blaze like he was my own. We all did. My whole family did. It tore us up. It broke us down.
Fighting back tears, Sharmella pleads with detectives to do whatever it takes to find the men who killed her husband.
First, we're going to need a little bit of help from you, okay?
Anything.
If you don't care, just walk us through what happened tonight.
She said she was coming out of the bedroom at 3:30 in the morning when masked men confronted her.
Oh my God!
The guy grabbed Sharmella by the hair and led her into the bedroom. They had latex gloves on. One had a hockey mask.
She says that one of the perpetrators had a gun. The second perpetrator had a knife.
Get out. Give us what we want. Nobody gets hurt.
He was asking for money.
Where's the money?
I don't have any money.
You got something.
She said she had some jewelry that he could have.
Where's the jewelry?
That's when Sharmella says DeMario finally woke up.
She described DeMario rising out of bed.
Sharmella!
She told police that he resisted in an attempt to perhaps fight the intruders.
No!
And he was stabbed.
Shut up! I told you this would happen.
Be quiet. Shut up.
Please, please, please. Please don't hurt me. I have two
Shut up.
children.
Get the cord and tie her up.
They punched her and beat her in the back of the head. All of this lasted about 15 minutes.
The intruders went back downstairs.
According to Sharmella, the two men rummaged around a little longer before they finally left.
She waited, and when she felt that they were gone, she picked up the phone to call 911.
I need help. Someone just broke into my house.
It appeared her 6 and 12-year-old daughters had slept through the entire ordeal and were okay. DeMario's injuries were fatal.
Did you notice anything missing in the house? Was anything taken?
Just some jewelry and the keys to the Grand Am.
She said the keys were near the door, and the two intruders must have taken the keys on their way out of the house.
Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and hang tight? We're going to take a look around, okay?
I'll be right back.
With the car gone, it certainly looks like a robbery, which really isn't too surprising given the recent spike in violent crime in the area.
But even though the Morris's Grand Am appears to have been stolen, it seems the intruders left plenty of other valuables behind.
There was a television, a VCR. There was a video gaming system and a computer. If this were indeed a robbery, why wouldn't the suspects have run off with those? His wallet was lying next to him. And what was interesting is that all of his credit cards were in his wallet. Why wouldn't the suspects have, run off with his valuables and with his wallet?
The drawers to Sharmella's jewelry box had been pulled open, but there was still jewelry inside. Why had the burglars taken some of the jewelry, but not all of it?
Detectives float one possible theory.
After the murder, the intruders felt the need to flee the scene as quickly as possible. They escaped by stealing the couple's car.
Police put an APB out on the vehicle, hoping it might lead them to whoever did this.
With the medical examiner now on the scene,
So what do we got, Doc?
investigators join him for a post-mortem on the victim.
They found defensive wounds on his hands. It appears that DeMario woke up, he tried to fight off the perpetrator.
That seemed to corroborate what Sharmella had already said happened.
But something else about the murder surprises detectives.
You got 10, maybe 12 stab wounds here.
From my experience, when you stab someone that many times, it's anger. There's some kind of frustration, hatred.
The stabbing looked very, very personal in nature.
In cases where the violence is this intense, the first person police look at is the spouse.
So, even though Sharmella seems to be telling the truth, investigators wonder if she's being completely honest with them.
But now that Sharmella's little girls have woken up, questioning Sharmella will have to wait.
She had to break the horrible news about DeMario to her children.
It's just something you don't even want to talk about. Something you just want to throw under the rug.
In the morning hours of June 27, 2003, police in Coatesville, Pennsylvania are doing everything in their power to untangle the mystery of DeMario Morris's murder. According to DeMario's wife, Sharmella, the couple had been the victims of a violent home invasion gone wrong. But the brutality of DeMario's murder and the plethora of valuables the thieves left behind have police questioning her account.
It's Investigation 101 to start with a spouse and work out from there. That's especially true when the victim has been stabbed multiple times. But on the other hand, Sharmella and DeMario's car is indeed missing, so maybe there is some element of truth to her story.
Police are actively looking for this car, but it's nowhere to be found.
With Sharmella's children now awake, detectives agree to meet with her later at the station.
She said her top priority was to get the children settled before meeting with police.
News of DeMario's murder spreads through the town of Coatesville like wildfire. No one is more taken aback than his colleagues at work.
The reaction in our plant was just utter disbelief.
It was devastating because DeMario was the guy that everyone really warmed up to, and it was just heartbreaking.
That afternoon, DeMario's co-worker, Dean Barber, approaches police with what he believes is a potential lead.
I may have some information about DeMario and Sharmella's case.
Dean describes DeMario as an outgoing man and one always eager to talk about the things he loved most.
He was constantly talking about his kids and how great they were.
He was one of those people that you just look at and think, this guy's doing life the right way. He's having fun. He's working hard, doing all the right things. He's raising 2 wonderful kids.
But Dean says as much as DeMario liked to brag about his 2 daughters, there was one subject on which he was strangely silent. His wife, Sharmella.
For a guy that liked to talk about people, he didn't really say much about her.
One day at work, we started talking and he seemed really down.
According to Dean, about a year ago, DeMario began to open up to him.
Hey man, what's up? Have a good weekend?
It was all right.
You seem a little down. What's up?
Marriage stuff, you know?
He told stories money was disappearing. He said she's going away for full weekends. She would take the car in the middle of the night and suddenly turn up at 4 a.m.
So what do you think it means?
What you think it means?
He knew that she was having an affair.
Dean says that despite evidence Sharmella was cheating, DeMario stuck it out.
She's not doing the right things as far as living a lifestyle that's conducive to being a mother of 2 children. He's doing all the right things. The kids were going to school and, he would get them up, get them on the bus.
DeMario tried to look past it because they both loved their children.
It was tough for him. That's no way to live.
Everything seemed okay for a little while. They got this job promotion to go to Houston.
According to Dean, he believed that when DeMario got the job offer in Houston, he and Sharmella would go their separate ways. But that wasn't the case.
She said, I'm all in. I want to move down to Houston.
Dean tells investigators that a couple weeks later, DeMario asked him to join he and Sharmella on a trip down to Houston so they could check out the place while Sharmella did some house hunting.
She came down with us, and the idea was that she was going to look for apartments.
But Dean says less than 24 hours into the trip to Houston, it was clear there was trouble in paradise.
She joined us for dinner, and we were like, did you find any apartments? She hadn't done anything. He was a little bit frustrated with that.
The next day, things got even worse.
He said, she's not there. She just disappeared. I have no idea where she went.
Dean explains that when Sharmella finally resurfaced later that week, she offered no explanation for her disappearance. And while it was a relief that Sharmella was okay, Dean says you could cut the tension between her and DeMario with a knife.
Dean Barber's revelation that Sharmella had been cheating on DeMario made police even more eager to interview her.
Within the hour, detectives sit down with Sharmella.
We need to know if there were any problems that you and your husband were having.
I mean, like all couples, our marriage wasn't perfect.
She admitted, hey, my marriage with DeMario has not been the best. We've had our ups and downs.
So you're saying that you were being faithful to him?
I would never cheat on my husband.
You're saying nothing ever happened with anyone, right?
But after some pressure from detectives, Sharmella finally admits that she had stepped outside of her marriage after the spark with DeMario had burned out.
That little fairy tale thing was gone. And when you don't know what to do about it, women and men sometimes seek the attention elsewhere.
Sharmella admits to having an affair with 2 men, Derek Batson and Maurice Hicksman.
Did your husband know about these men?
Yes.
How did he feel about this?
I mean, he was upset, but I told him that they were just flings. They didn't mean anything.
Suppose that one of these men wanted to kill your husband so that they could have you for themselves.
No.
Or maybe you decided to kill him so that you could run off with one of them.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I loved him. We just grew apart.
Before detectives can push any further, they're pulled out of the interview.
Philadelphia police contacted Coatesville police.
The case just kept getting more complicated.
She approached him and said, hey, I've been having dreams about you.
There's always more to the story.
In her interview with Pennsylvania police on June 27, 2003, DeMario Morris's widow, Sharmella, has admitted to a pair of extramarital affairs.
She admitted to cheating on DeMario, but she swore that neither she nor her 2 lovers had anything to do with his death.
Still, police aren't entirely convinced. This could have easily been a love triangle gone wrong.
But as detectives prepare to turn up the heat on Sharmella, they receive a phone call from the Philadelphia Police Department.
Detective Miller.
They had found the car on fire in Pennypack Park.
Philadelphia.
After putting out the fire, police checked the license plate on the vehicle, ran it through a database, and realized it had been reported missing. And it was tied to a murder investigation in Coatesville.
The car belonged to DeMario and Sharmella Morris.
Okay. All right, thanks. So it looks like they've located your car outside of Philadelphia. What would it be doing there?
I don't know. I don't know anybody in Philadelphia. My family, they're from Pittsburgh.
Sharmella's shock appears genuine. Investigators can't help but wonder if her initial story of a home invasion may in fact be true.
Perhaps the perpetrators did take the car to Pennypack Park, set it on fire as a way to destroy the evidence.
But without any other leads, the discovery of the vehicle raises more questions than answers.
Sharmella could be conspiring with an accomplice, And maybe that individual killed Demario and then fled to Philly to burn the car and destroy the evidence.
With no concrete evidence of Sharmella's involvement in the murder, police have no choice but to release her. Later that night, detectives received the analysis results for the Morris' charred Pontiac Grand Am.
Philly PD lab results.
But unfortunately, whoever stole it knew precisely how to cover their tracks.
No suitable DNA matches found.
There were no fingerprints, no blood evidence, and no DNA.
It's a whole lot of nothing is what that is.
With the investigation losing momentum, the next morning, detectives tracked down Sharmella's two lovers, Derek Batson and Maurice Hicksmith.
When police located Derek and Maurice, both acknowledged their affairs, but they denied being jealous of Demario and having anything to do with his death.
Both men said they weren't anywhere near Sharmella's home on the night of the murder, nor were they in Philadelphia prior to the discovery of the burned out car.
But if neither Derek Batson nor Maurice Hicksmith is responsible for the stolen vehicle, then who is?
Police had no suspect in it at all.
But they figure if Sharmella is involved, her cell correspondence might lead them to the arsonist.
Looks like I have Sharmella's phone calls. Let's see who she's been talking to.
That afternoon, police subpoena Sharmella's phone records. In doing so, they unearth a potential lead.
And numbers she keeps calling in Philadelphia.
Prior to Sharmella's interview with the police, she had been on the phone back and forth with someone named Ryan Mathis.
Ryan Mathis is only 19 years old, but he's already pretty well known to police. He has a record involving sexual assault and drugs.
Ryan Mathis lived in the vicinity of where the Morris' stolen vehicle was discovered.
Later that night, detectives pay Ryan Mathis a visit.
Ryan's mother answers the door, and police tell her they're there about the murder investigation into the death of Demario Morris.
Hello, ma'am. We'd like to speak with Ryan.
Okay, can you tell me what this is regarding?
It's about a homicide we're investigating.
And they were told by his mother he wasn't there.
As soon as he gets in, I'll send him your way.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
By the next afternoon, detectives have Ryan at the station for questioning. They begin by asking him if he knew the victim, Demario Morris.
I knew his wife. I don't really know him too much, but I met his wife about 2 years ago.
He talks about how they met at the Pennsylvania Clinical School, where Sharmella was a counselor, which is a facility for juvenile sex offenders. Ryan Mathis had been sentenced there for a 14-month stay.
Ryan, were you having sex with Sharmella?
Hi, Ryan.
How you doing, Miss Morris?
Though Ryan explains the relationship with Sharmella began as that of patient and counselor, one day in 2001, it took an unexpected turn.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Okay.
She approached Ryan and said, hey, I've been having dreams about you.
What kind of dreams?
The naughty kind.
Really?
Yes, really.
From there, they started an affair.
According to Ryan, once a month he was given a weekend visitation pass to see his mother. Instead, he chose to meet up with Sharmella, where they acted out her wildest fantasies.
He said he and Sharmella had sex 5 times a week. Sometimes it was at his house, sometimes it was at her house. They went to various hotels.
Though Ryan doesn't deny their physical attraction, he also admits there's a more transactional side to the relationship.
She would buy me CDs, buy me video games, that kind of thing.
He saw Sharmella Morris as someone that he could essentially mooch off. Sharmella would buy him clothes. She'd buy him new shoes. She'd help take care of his cell phone.
Ryan says while they tried to keep their affair a secret, by the end of 2001, school administrators had begun asking questions about the special treatment Sharmella was giving Ryan.
He was confronted as to the new items that he had.
Ryan describes how disciplinary actions were imposed on both he and Sharmella in an attempt to end their inappropriate behavior.
They suspended some of his privileges, and then they moved her to another unit.
While the school frowned upon the special treatment that Sharmella was showing Ryan, with no clear-cut evidence that an affair had occurred, they still took steps to limit the interaction between them.
But Ryan says that when his stint at Pennsylvania Clinical School came to an end in July of 2002, he and Sharmella continued their romance.
Did her husband know about you having an affair?
Yeah, he did.
One time, the husband confronted him.
Go ahead.
Open up! Open up! Let's cut to the chase, boy.
I know you've been sleeping with my wife.
He had asked him, point blank, hey, are you and my wife having an affair?
No, I swear I haven't been sleeping with her.
But to Ryan's surprise, Sharmella scolded him for his lie, all right in front of her stunned husband.
Why are you lying to my husband?
Huh?
Sharmella insisted that he tell him the truth, and he did.
I guess we got a thing, if that's what you want to call it.
Are you happy now?
You know what? You a total piece of work.
The husband just let it go at that. There was no retribution.
It's a salacious story for sure. But if Ryan Mathis is telling the truth, then Sharmella Morris is withholding information from police.
Did you help Sharmella murder her husband?
No, I wouldn't murder anyone.
We had lots of motives. She's giving you things, you're having sex with her, you have plenty of reason to have him dead.
DeMario was threatening to take Sharmella and his family to Houston, which would have ended Sharmella's relationship with Ryan.
You got the best reason to. Your sugar mama's cutting you off.
Look, it was all physical. It wasn't like we were exclusive or anything. She had other guys, I had other girls.
Ryan insists he was nowhere near Sharmella and DeMario's house on the night of the murder.
Ryan tells them that Sharmella was with him at his house in Philadelphia where they had sex, but she left on her own around midnight. He stayed in Philadelphia and had another one of his girlfriends come over.
So you're telling us that you had nothing to do with his murder?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
So it was just a happy coincidence that their burned out car was found, a couple blocks from your house in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't murder anyone.
Again, with no hard evidence linking Ryan to the crime, detectives are forced to let him go. No sooner has Ryan Mathis left the station than investigators call Sharmella back for another round of questioning.
They brought her back and confronted her with her lies.
We're wondering why you didn't tell us about your relationship with Ryan Mathis.
Well,
She begrudgingly acknowledged the affair was going on and tried to explain that she hadn't mentioned it because she thought it would make her look guilty.
it doesn't look good when you're with your lover on the night that your husband is killed.
Lying looks a lot worse.
You're right. And now I'm going to start telling the truth.
And just as Ryan had told police hours earlier, Sharmella says she was with her young lover until shortly after midnight on June 27th.
She left him there to travel back to her home to Coatesville.
As for what occurred afterwards, Sharmella remains firm that intruders murdered her husband.
So you're saying that neither of you had anything to do with this?
Yes.
Hang tight. We're going to get to the bottom of this, okay?
All right, I hope you do.
Police are certain that Sharmella is involved in her husband's death and that Ryan Mathis assisted in the murder. But with no physical evidence linking either of them to the crime, they can't prove it. And it's becoming clear Sharmella knows this.
But as police apply pressure, will both Ryan and Sharmella hold up? Because if one of them cracks, all bets are off.
All this is getting ready to come to a screeching halt. Everything's going to be over.
48 hours into the murder investigation of DeMario Morris, detectives in Coatesville, Pennsylvania have exposed a trio of extramarital affairs involving his wife, Sharmella. None more shocking than the one she was having with 19-year-old Ryan Mathis.
Sharmella Morris and her young lover, Ryan Mathis, were both adamant they had nothing to do with DeMario's death. But police knew the Morris family was getting ready to move to Houston. Could this have been the trigger that caused one or more of them to act?
Of course, police are suspicious of Sharmella and Ryan's stories, but at this point, it's all still speculation.
But that all changes when police receive a return visit from Ryan Mathis and his mother.
Detectives, my son has something that he needs to tell you all.
Okay, Ryan, tell us something.
After the first interview, his mother has found out that he misled police.
Now you need to tell them the truth. Do it.
She's upset and tells her son he has to correct the record.
Okay, I'll admit I wasn't 100% honest with you all.
You kind of figured that.
His mother insisted, hey, I'm going to sit in this interview with you with police and you're going to tell the truth.
Ryan Mathis admits to accompanying Sharmella back to her home in the early morning hours of June 27th.
We went back to Sharmella's house around about 2 o'clock.
So then what happened?
Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to go in, take a shower.
Sharmella tells Ryan, I'll be back in an hour.
This was pretty typical of their relationship.
It seemed like forever I was in that car.
He would come to Sharmella's house and hang around until the husband went to work.
And then she came out. I was a little upset, so I jumped out of the car.
Ryan says at around 4 a.m., Sharmella came back wearing only a nightgown. But it's what she said next that floored him.
Yo, what's taking so long? I've been out here for about an hour. What's going on?
I killed him.
Ryan claims at that point he began to panic.
Why would you bring me into something like this?
I need you to calm down.
No, I need to get out of here. That's what I need to do. I need to go.
She said, take the car and burn it. This was a way for her story to sound more plausible. Burglars saw the car keys, and so they took the Grand Dam and set it on fire to perhaps destroy evidence that would have linked them back to the crime.
According to Ryan, he didn't question his older lover.
He's 19 years old. This woman is 30. She's been whining and dining him, giving him gifts. He did what she asked.
Detectives ask Ryan why Sharmella would want to get rid of her husband.
He said if we continued with the affair that he was going to leave her. He was going to take the kids and go to Texas where he got a job promotion.
She wanted to stay in Coatesville to raise her children and continue this relationship with Ryan Mathis.
But her husband had already told her if she continued their affair, he was going to keep the kids.
So she decided to kill her husband.
Though investigators press the suspect harder, Ryan refuses to budge.
Ryan denies any involvement with the actual murder of Demario Morris.
It's a powerful story, but detectives have to wonder, is it true?
Ryan Mathis had lied to police during his first interview. He had lied about burning the car. He had lied about traveling with Sharmella from his house in Philly to Coatesville.
What would you say if he asked you to talk to her on the phone and then we recorded that?
Ryan Mathis agrees to cooperate with investigators, and he agrees to have one of his phone conversations recorded with Sharmella.
Detectives listen in as Ryan Mathis calls Sharmella.
The phone is tapped, so it goes to a recording station where other officers are listening, and they record what's going on.
Hey, it's me.
Ryan? I thought I told you not to call me.
Look, I did what you told me to do.
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
She told him 3 times to shut up instead of listening to what he was talking about. Obviously, she knew what he was talking about.
She immediately got defensive and asked why he was calling.
There's nothing that's technically incriminating, but a few minutes into the call, she seems to slip up.
Don't worry. I didn't involve you. I'll talk to you later. Steps.
Then she ends the call with the word steps.
Steps. What does that mean?
Ryan told police Steps is a code word for a secret meeting place.
Ryan makes plans to meet Sharmella at their secret rendezvous point. But instead, detectives intercept her.
Sharmella, put your purse down, stand up and face me, please.
Based on that phone call, police feel they have enough evidence to make an arrest.
You're under arrest.
Sharmella Morris was charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit arson. She still was involved in the notion of setting the fire, although she did not physically set it herself.
Despite cooperating with police, Ryan Mathis is also charged.
Ryan Mathis was charged with arson, criminal conspiracy, and hindering apprehension.
It isn't long before the arrest of these May-December lovers is front-page news in both Coatesville and Philadelphia. Friends and family of Sharmella and Demario are blown away.
People close to them were torn as to whether or not they believe Sharmella could have really done something like this.
It was just so sad for the kids. They've already lost one parent, and now the other is being charged with murder.
My family was upset. Some of them believed that she did it.
It seemed pretty obvious to most of us of her guilt.
Can't see my child killing him like that. I just can't. I didn't raise her like that. It don't add up. This girl's married. She owns a home. She had nothing to gain. Nothing. The boy had no job, no income. I think the boyfriend did it. He knew the day was leaving. His meal ticket was coming to a screeching halt.
But as the case moves to trial, Sharmella's teen lover appears poised to testify against her. Evidence against Sharmella continues to pour in. Dan Pettigrew, Demario's co-worker, comes forward with a disturbing story the victim told just days before the murder.
He came in saying that Sharmella had come at him with a knife.
He was laying in bed sleeping.
He took it as a joke, just blew it off and said she crazy. And we all laughed, not knowing what it foretold.
But after the killing, Dan and his colleagues started to see this in a very different light.
Normally he would get his paycheck on Thursday night, have a few beers with the boys, and then he would go and, go into a deep sleep. But we realized that on this Thursday, the week before he was killed, the checks were on Friday. So he didn't have his paycheck, and he did not have his beers that night. I think she depended on him having that deep sleep, and I believe that was a foiled attempt at her to accomplish the crime a week earlier.
And that isn't all. Nikita Richards, the friend Sharmella stayed with before her arrest, also hands over evidence that suggests this crime was premeditated.
Nikita turns in a puzzle book to authorities, and within the puzzle book, there's this written narrative by Sharmella that recounts how the murder happened.
Could this be something a traumatized victim wrote after the killing to put her thoughts in order? Detectives don't think so.
A traumatized victim, their mind is trying to avoid what happened. They don't want to remember the details.
But a killer, trying to keep her story straight, would have a motive for writing something like this.
You could study it, and that would be what she's running through her mind as she's going to talk to the police.
This would also explain the discrepancy between when Ryan says Sharmella came out the house around 4 and she called 911 more than an hour later. She used that time to rehearse.
Though the evidence against Sharmella is mostly circumstantial, the prosecution feels confident about its case.
He would clear up for the jury things left unsaid in the wiretap phone call.
But little do prosecutors know, a troubling jailhouse correspondence could upend their entire case.
She pleads with Ryan not to let the DA get to him.
In Pennsylvania, 30-year-old Sharmella Morris stands accused of murdering her husband, DeMario. With little physical evidence tying Sharmella to the crime, prosecutors are pinning their case on the sworn confession of Sharmella's 19-year-old lover, Ryan Mathis, and are hopeful he will testify against her at trial.
Ryan was looking at a number of charges, and he was facing several years in prison. But his trump card was that he allegedly was the only person Sharmella had confessed to.
But as the case makes its way through court, Sharmella tries to persuade Ryan not to testify against her.
While Sharmella is in jail, she begins to write Ryan letters.
Sharmella pleads with Ryan not to let the DA get to him. She also writes what we mean to each other. Don't ever forget that.
So now the question becomes, will this teenager who allegedly committed arson at Sharmella's request be seduced again into doing her bidding?
DeMario's friends and family were worried about what Ryan might say or do at trial.
On February 14, 2005, Sharmella's murder trial gets underway.
DeMario's mother and his 2 sisters, they were right behind the prosecution.
But Sharmella's own mother can't bring herself to attend.
I couldn't stand going. I don't want to see her like that.
In their opening statements, prosecutors highlight Sharmella's tawdry relationship with Ryan Mathis, as well as the impending move that forced Sharmella to choose between her family and her teenage lover.
DeMario was moving on with his plans, and I guess she wanted things to stay the same.
She didn't want to lose kids. But she wasn't giving up her boyfriend, Ryan, so she had to find a way to get rid of her husband so she can continue the life that she had.
Sharmella wanted to continue to have her cake and eat it too.
And so, prosecutors say, in the early morning hours of June 27, 2003, Sharmella put her murderous plan in motion.
Prosecutors believe she went to visit Ryan in Philadelphia. They had sex and then drove the 50 miles together back to Sharmella's home in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Once they got there, he waited in the car.
Prosecutors assert that she then went inside and killed her husband of 12 years.
He was sleeping. She came up with a knife, stabbed him once. That woke him up. And he stabbed a few more times.
She probably did it very quickly. An angry person can stab you numerous times without thinking twice about it because they're enraged. According to the autopsy, the victim was stabbed 12 times.
The single knife wounds weren't deep enough to kill somebody, except that one hit a nerve.
When that nerve was sliced open, it cut off blood flow to the heart, resulting in his death.
So it was kind of a 1 in a million shot that, that she succeeded.
She then came out, blood on her nightgown, to find Ryan waiting there.
She told Ryan he has to dispose of the couple's car.
This was a way for her story to seem plausible that the burglars did indeed take the car and set it on fire.
And then Sharmella was disposing of the murder weapon and coming up with an alibi.
Finally, after her tracks had been covered and she'd concocted her cover story, around 5:30 that morning, she called 911.
Oh my God, somebody just broke into my house.
To cement their theory, prosecutors call their star witness Ryan Mathis to the stand.
This was it, the moment of truth. Would he stand by Sharmella's side, or would he throw her under the bus?
Even with cases that you think were open and shut, there's always that fear in the back of family members' minds. Are they going to get away with this?
It turns out DeMario's loved ones have nothing to fear.
As he had done previously, Ryan recounted the night of the murder and Sharmella's confession in all of its gory details.
But on cross-examination, Sharmella's defense team moves to undermine the state's star witness's credibility, as well as his potential motivation for agreeing to cooperate with authorities.
In exchange for his testimony against Sharmella, Ryan pled guilty to arson and related charges. He was sentenced to 3 to 6 years in prison, plus 4 years of probation.
That's a far cry from a life sentence for murder, which according to the defense gives Ryan ample reason to lie on the witness stand. Essentially, he would be trying to save his own skin.
They painted him as a liar. He had lied to police during his first interview. He had lied about burning the car. He had lied about traveling with Sharmella from his house in Philly to Coatesville.
The defense even raises the possibility that Ryan could be the real killer.
If Sharmella moved to Houston, that was the end of their relationship.
His lavish gifts and his sex was going to end.
But the prosecution fires back with a powerful counter-argument.
They say that Sharmella has started with this elaborate story about 2 men that broke into her home. Now she's saying that, well, perhaps this was all Ryan. They can't have it both ways.
On February 17th, both sides rest their case.
DeMario's mother was hopeful that, her son didn't die in vain for all of this, that they would convict Sharmella.
2 hours later, the jury returns with their verdict.
The jury convicted Sharmella Morris on first-degree murder and the killing of her husband, DeMario Morris.
They obviously weigh their decision very heavily, very carefully. Coming back within 2 hours clearly shows they did not believe the argument the defense put forth.
In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, first-degree murder convictions automatically come with a life sentence.
There was never any doubt, at least not in my mind, she'll be convicted and she'll have a life sentence. And that's exactly what happened.
As for Sharmella's family, their reaction to the verdict is a mix of shock, sadness, and shame.
I was heartbroken. I was humiliated. I was all that a parent could be. I haven't been the same since.
By all accounts, this was a hardworking couple who loved each other. They had great jobs and great kids, and somewhere along the way, it all just kind of went off the rails. The heart really works in mysterious and sometimes dangerous ways.
2 children are left with neither mother or father. It was just a terrible tragedy that didn't have to happen.
Love rescues a man from the depths of despair.
My brother's hurting a lot.
Meeting this woman, it changed everything.
They say it was love at first sight.
But in a life filled with second chances, did demons lurk just beneath the surface?
Anytime drugs is involved in a situation, it seems like something goes bad.
There is a possibility that either man could have been the father.
He played a dangerous game.
And when the worst finally happens, no one knows where to lay the blame.
Miss Harrington.
This would probably be one of the last ways you'd want to die.
Is it a vendetta? Was it an accident? Is it a love triangle?
It's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
You hit somebody with a 2-ton car. It's just like you point a gun at somebody.
That's personal. That's hurt. That's rage.
May 29th, 2007. It's the crack of dawn in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York.
It's a predominantly black neighborhood. It's mostly projects, housing authority. The people in there are the working class. You have an element of crime. There is a strong drug problem, but for the most part, people there are good people.
Most families were single mothers. The fathers was absent. The neighborhood was rough.
For 47-year-old resident Jeffrey Moore, it's a day that seems chock full of possibilities as he makes his way down the street.
He was riding through the neighborhood of Brooklyn, going to visit his family.
But as the city begins to stir and Jeffrey crosses Chauncey Street, he can never imagine what's about to happen.
Come on, hurry up. Oh my God.
Sir, are you okay?
Moments later, 911 dispatchers receive a distressing call from the New York Fire Department.
Somebody ran over there and notified the fire department that there was an accident at the scene. The vehicle fled the location, and EMS was immediately dispatched to the scene.
Apparently, the eyewitness was out on the streets when she saw a speeding car bound off the sidewalk, then peel away. Afterwards, she saw a man splayed out on the ground.
It appears that the victim was run over.
As first responders arrive at the scene, they find the victim unconscious on the sidewalk. That individual is Jeffrey Moore.
A male black on the ground with multiple injuries. There was profuse bleeding. You could tell there was fractures, and it was obvious that he was struck by some type of vehicle.
The emergency medical technicians check his vitals. He was still, breathing, so he was still alive.
The steaming truck getting stabilized.
Jeffrey is loaded onto an ambulance and raced to the trauma center at Brookdale Hospital. While paramedics fight to keep Jeffrey alive, investigators arrive at the scene of the hit and run.
Hey there, officer.
The victim was transported to Brookdale Hospital. At that time, myself and my partner went to the scene and started detailing what had happened.
Was Jeffrey just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or had someone targeted him?
At that time, we didn't know if this was an accident or a criminal investigation.
But detectives could have never imagined the explosive secrets waiting to be discovered, nor the crescendo of violence that had culminated in one terrible moment.
It's mind-blowing. It's unbelievable to most of us, but sometimes something snaps.
Born in 1960, in the tough streets of East New York, Jeffrey Moore grew up basked in the love of his mother and 10 siblings.
Jeff being the youngest boy out of 11 children, he held kind of a place of special honor.
His mother, who Jeffrey was extremely close to, always kept her eye on her baby boy.
Grandma wouldn't allow nobody to do anything to him.
He loved his sisters. He'd do stuff, we beat him up. But he would never fight us. He would never fight us. Friends, family, we all stuck together as one.
Though many of Jeffrey's peers succumbed to the streets at a young age, his family's love and encouragement proved to be a powerful force during Jeffrey's formative years. But Jeffrey also had another passion that kept him on the straight and narrow.
He loved to box. Love. Boxing was his outlet, his way to get away from what was going on around in the neighborhood.
He had, according to his family, won the Golden Gloves at one point.
To help keep himself in shape, Jeffrey worked in the construction field after high school. In the years that followed, Jeffrey's athletic physique and undeniable charm proved irresistible to more than a few women.
He had a very big and magnetic personality.
He was easy to talk to. He was very funny. He was a comedian.
Hey, babe, how's the fight going? Hey, babe.
One woman that fell head over heels for Jeffrey was Lisa Tucker.
Lisa also grew up in Brooklyn. They hit it off right away.
Oh, come on, get your hands up.
I didn't know you know anything about boxing, babe.
You know I know about boxing. I can't wait to see you in the ring.
We love Lisa. We love her a lot. And yes, he was happy.
And before long, he realized Lisa was the woman he wanted to spend the rest of his life with.
When he was 20, he got married. We loved Lisa so much.
It looked like Jeffrey was on his way up in the world. However, the truth was far more complicated.
The negative influences in the neighborhood really caught up with Jeffrey.
We grew up in East New York, Brooklyn, a lot of crime. Then in the 80s, we had the crack era.
He was dealing with drug addiction, more specifically crack addiction.
They say after 4 times, you're addicted to it.
Once you get your first hit, you basically try to chase that hit. It's very difficult to get off.
It all becomes about the drug. Crack is so addictive. It all becomes about using and getting more.
Look at yourself. You're losing weight. You're never home. You're blowing all of our money.
You sorry?
No, sorry doesn't cut it anymore.
As Jeffrey descended deeper into the well of addiction, by the early 90s, Lisa finally made the decision to walk away.
If I was to say what caused my Uncle Jeffrey to, separate from his wife, I would say it would probably be the addiction.
An addiction to crack will ruin a relationship.
Over the next decade, Jeffrey tried to get clean time and again.
He would try really hard to get himself together, and he would do that for a while, and then something happened and it'll trigger something in him and he would go back to what he knew.
But by 2005, it looked like Jeffrey had finally kicked his habit for good. From that point forward, family came first.
Hey, Mom.
what's
hey,
up,
how's
sis?
it going?
All right.
Hey,
Just about done. Just had to tighten this up a little bit more.
did you get enough money to pay for everything?
You gave me more than enough. The change is on the counter.
Nah.
He helped me with everything, clean my home. He loved my mother so much. Wherever he get, he shared with all of us.
And then an unexpected tragedy tore the Moore family apart.
My mother died in 2005.
It was shocking. We knew she was in the hospital, but we thought Grandma was strong. She was the matriarch of the family. She brought us all together.
No one was more devastated by her death than her youngest son, Jeffrey.
It affected him a lot. He didn't care no more. He wanted to be with my mother.
It just sent his whole life into like a whirlwind. He just started back using drugs again.
But just when it looked like Jeffrey couldn't be saved, he met a woman who he called his angel, 25-year-old Janine Harrington.
Janine was a good deal younger than Jeff, but it was love at first sight.
You know you're the best thing ever happened to me, right?
I feel the same way.
They celebrated their profound love with an equally intense passion.
They couldn't seem to get enough of each other.
And though Jeffrey continued to battle his demons, Janine remained by his side. It appeared that Jeffrey could finally have a fresh start in life, until a speeding vehicle ran him off his road to redemption.
The victim was transported to Brookdale Hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival.
But as investigators dig into his life, they'll discover that Jeffrey Moore was a man fanning the flames of tragedy.
It's a recipe for disaster.
After the heartbreaking loss of his mother in 2005, Jeffrey Moore found the will to live again in the arms of a young woman named Janine Harrington.
Though he had slipped back into drug use, he thought this kind of relationship could change him and make him a better man.
Yes, he was happy. He was getting stuff together.
Then early in the morning on May 29, 2007, a hit and run in Brownsville, Brooklyn left Jeffrey mortally wounded.
At the scene, he was alive, and apparently he died on the way to the hospital.
News of the tragedy soon reaches his nearby family.
They were pretty heartbroken about this.
It's very hard. It's very difficult to lose the youngest boy in a family.
Jeffrey got killed. I just started shaking.
I can remember that day very clear, as if it was happening right now. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to handle it. It was a huge blow. I just kind of broke down. Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? I kind of just wanted to block it out. I shut all the way down.
Back at the crime scene, detectives worked to identify the driver who had fatally struck Jeffrey.
Well, the officer told me that you may have witnessed the accident.
I did.
Among the onlookers in the street that morning is the Good Samaritan who notified the fire department of the incident.
I just came over to see what happened after I heard a crashing sound. Although the person who witnessed the accident could not provide a description of the driver, they were able to provide to detectives a description of the vehicle. It was a gray SUV.
They put out one of these bulletins for everyone to be on the lookout for this vehicle.
The description of the vehicle, it was broadcasted out for every cop.
Examining the evidence at the scene, detectives try to reconstruct Jeffrey's final moments.
You noticed blood on brick wall. They also discovered a mangled bike close by on a nearby stoop, which indicated that the bike was involved and he was riding the bike at the time he was hit. And they found drag marks that contained blood.
Which leads detectives to a horrifying conclusion.
This wasn't just a bump and run. This was a hit, drag, and run over.
Streaks of blood on the street indicate that the body was dragged, possibly under the vehicle.
When you pull somebody under the car, it shreds the clothes, it shreds the skin on the back. It's not a pretty scene. You see like cheetahs, lions, and they're eating on an antelope, and the antelope's still alive while this thing is chewing on the back of them. And it's the same thing. It's gruesome.
If anyone had a choice of how to die, that's not the way to go.
As for why Jeffrey was hit, detectives have several possible theories.
Early morning is a time when people are coming back from a night of partying.
Could have been somebody who was intoxicated.
A large majority of our hit and runs usually involve some type of drug use, anywhere from marijuana use to cocaine to heroin to oxycodone and alcohol.
This could have been somebody who could have been on their cell phone or whatever it was and hit the sidewalk, hit this person.
A lot of times people make bad decisions after these accidents. They panic. They don't want to go to jail. So their immediate reaction is to flee. When sometimes if they stopped and could have helped that person, they could have maybe saved them.
But given the neighborhood's notorious reputation, detectives also have to consider another angle.
Brownsville has the reputation for being lower income, higher crime, higher drug use areas.
Back in 2007, a large majority of all the homicides that occurred in Brownsville were all drug-related. A lot of times individuals run up a payment that they cannot cover, and unfortunately a lot of those people wind up to be homicide victims.
Could someone have intentionally targeted Jeffrey over drugs? That theory begins to gain some traction once detectives run their victim's name through their database.
He had multiple drug arrests and drug sales on his arrest record, so this could be drug-related. So we were looking into any possible retaliation of maybe selling drugs or stealing drugs.
It's possible this is a drug deal going wrong.
Detectives reach out to their colleagues in the narcotics division to see if they might have any additional information.
It's a well-known drug use area. So a lot of times we have special conditions and cars that stay around the area to keep an eye on the locations. Unfortunately, at this time when it happened early in the morning, there was nothing available at that time.
Detectives hope the firehouse located across the street might have surveillance cameras that captured the hit and run, but this too proves to be a dead end.
Unfortunately, the fire department did not have a camera facing any part of that location in the surrounding buildings.
Desperate for a lead, detectives reach out to Jeffrey's family to see if they might be ready to talk.
Jeff's sister gave some information about her brother. Some things the police didn't know.
And soon, a sordid web of sexual secrets will change the course of the case.
It is really very detailed and very wild.
A few hours have passed since the hit-and-run killing of Brooklyn native Jeffrey Moore. But police still don't know whether his death was accidental or intentional.
They were kind of following a couple of different tracks to try and figure out this story and what had happened.
Maybe it was a drunk driver who hit him. Maybe it was somebody that was paying him back for a drug deal going wrong.
Detectives are hoping a meeting with Jeffrey Moore's sister, Jade Oliver, will help them focus their investigation.
I know this is a delicate question, but did you know your brother was taking drugs at the time of his death?
Unfortunately, yeah. He relapsed after my mom died and never managed to get clean.
Do you have any problems with money or with a drug dealer?
I don't really know. I don't.
But Jay does know one source of conflict in Jeffrey's life, his girlfriend, Janine Harrington. Though Jade says that her brother claimed to be madly in love with this 25-year-old woman, the family disapproved from day one.
It was a pretty toxic relationship.
They didn't like the fact that he was seeing her. They weren't comfortable with it.
Janine was 2 decades younger than Jeff.
She's too young. She's too young. That bottom line, she's too young. He should have been talking to her from the beginning.
When you think about her age, it's quite obvious that something is wrong all the way around.
To be a younger woman, you kind of see yourself as a prize. And you got these older men that are willing to do whatever to keep you. You're 25 years old. Youth is on your side.
But Jade says when she confronted Jeffrey with the family's concerns, he was adamant that Janine just had a preference for older men.
Older men? How do you know she liked older men? That's just your ego talking.
She's already dating one, Jade.
What?
Janine Harrington was already in a relationship.
She was living with another guy, and his name was Marshall Carpenter. He and Janine had been together for a long time.
Does he even know about you?
Nah. Janine told him I was her cousin.
And he's stupid enough to believe that.
Relax. It's all good.
All good. You know what? Now you're the stupid one.
Jay said, what you do with somebody with another man? Let that man have her. You need her. Leave that girl alone. Get yourself together.
According to Jade, she initially believed Jeffrey had heeded her advice. But as the next few months passed, she and her sister Karen began to have second thoughts about their brother's resolve. Eventually, they confronted Jeffrey.
I told him to leave it alone a lot of times. Go away and get yourself together.
He still loved her and wanted to be with her very much.
But Jade says she thought love was just an excuse for a far greater addiction, one Jeffrey and Janine both allegedly shared.
Like him, she had an addiction to crack.
Janine Harrington had a problem way before she got with my uncle.
I'm sure it added to the intensity and made that relationship all the more attractive.
You have to wonder how much of that was love and how much of it was a relationship of convenience, i.e. were they doing drugs together?
Then in the spring of 2007, Jade says Jeffrey came to her and her sister with what he thought was good news.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
He told me she was pregnant. I was like, yes.
That's some good news.
Janine had told Jeffrey he was the father.
And apparently, Jeffrey was ecstatic.
He didn't have any kids of his own, so he was excited about the baby.
But Jade says she and her sister were horrified. She pointed out that Janine wasn't fit to be a mother.
You're both using crack, remember?
Using crack while you're pregnant is not a good decision at all for the baby.
According to Jade, though, Jeffrey assured his sisters that the baby had motivated him and Janine to get clean once and for all.
He was really, really ready to commit to Janine and this unborn child.
That's when Jade says she brought up the elephant in the room.
Jeff, how do you even know you're the father?
Janine was still involved and living with her other boyfriend.
So there's a possibility that she could have been pregnant by either man.
No matter what, he's gonna kill you when he finds out.
Look, y'all need to chill.
No, you need to wake up.
Jeff's family believed that they could see what he couldn't in terms of his relationship with Janine. But he was a grown man in his 40s, and he was going to do what he wanted to do, you know, regardless of what anyone would say, including his family. It's not like dealing with a teenager.
But detectives now fear that Jeffrey may have been the victim of a love triangle gone wrong.
When we determine that there's a love triangle, we investigate each and every person that's involved in the relationship to make sure who's guilty and who's not.
Now we're looking at a whole different kind of element or a different path. What is exactly the motive here?
In a relationship, when it's a triangle, it's a lot of jealousy. And with jealousy comes danger.
Being involved in the detective squad, we've seen it numerous times where love triangles wind up with a serious injury or someone dying, unfortunately. And jealousy is the main culprit.
Maybe Janine decided that she didn't want Jeffrey around anymore. And she told Jeffrey that Marshall was the father of the baby. Maybe Jeffrey was angry and he threatened to go to Marshall with the truth, and that was too much for Janine.
Or did Marshall find out that Janine not only had a boyfriend, but was pregnant as well?
Is it my baby? Is it his baby? That could drive a person to making really bad decisions and just completely eliminate the threat to your family.
While detectives hunt down the couple for questioning, a phone call comes in about an SUV matching the description of the vehicle that fled the scene.
The SUV was found within a 6 blocks radius of the actual incident. It was obvious from looking at the vehicle that there were multiple dents, scratches, and blood on the vehicle that was definitely involved in some type of accident.
And when detectives run the plates on the SUV, they make a jaw-dropping discovery.
The vehicle was registered to Marshall Carpenter, Janine Harrington's boyfriend.
Could Marshall Carpenter be the man behind Jeffrey Moore's murder? And if so, was someone else in harm's way?
If he's that angry about her lover, her safety is in danger. She could be next.
After running the plates on the SUV believed to have killed 47-year-old Jeffrey Moore, police in Brooklyn, New York have made a shocking discovery.
It belonged to a man named Marshall Carpenter.
Marshall was the boyfriend of Janine Harrington, Jeffrey Moore's pregnant lover.
And if Marshall had mowed down Jeffrey Moore in a fit of jealous rage, one fear is that Janine could be next.
It's not a stretch to think that Marshall would have gone after her.
After locating an address for Marshall Carpenter and Janine Harrington, police dispatch members of their emergency service unit to the residence.
This unit is trained to respond to high-risk situations. Police didn't know if the suspect could be armed and dangerous or if this could possibly be a hostage situation.
We think this is the vehicle that was in the accident, and we think the suspects are upstairs.
Okay. We're gonna set up a quick perimeter around here, hit the house, see what's going on. Y'all just hang out here, all right?
All right.
But before the special unit officers approach the couple's apartment, a woman pokes her head out of the window of the building.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
what's on the window?
I'd like to talk to you. Hey, let me just get dressed. I'm gonna come down.
Okay. What the heck?
Moments later, the young woman comes outside with an older man.
Show me your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Come down to me. Keep coming. Come to me. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Come on. You too, sir. Come on down. Come on down.
She identifies herself as Janine Harrington, and he gives the name Marshall Carpenter. It's immediately clear she is not afraid of her boyfriend or in any danger.
But police do notice the couple is worn out, and Janine seems to be high on something.
Okay, what's going on?
What Janine blurts out next also surprises officers.
You're here about Jeffrey Moore's accident.
Yes, ma'am.
When police ask the couple if they'd be willing to answer some questions about the case, both willingly agree.
They're transported over to the precinct detective squad so they could be interviewed.
In the squad room, detectives begin by questioning Marshall about his relationship with Jeffrey Moore.
He acknowledges that he knows Jeffrey Moore.
We were pretty friendly. He was at my house all the time.
So how would you describe his relationship with your girlfriend?
Well, they did drugs together. And, well, they was intimate.
Obviously, as Jeffrey's sister suspected, Marshall Carpenter did not believe his girlfriend's lie that Jeffrey was her cousin.
But when detectives ask Marshall how he feels about Janine's illicit behavior, he simply shrugs it off.
Marshall said that he was so in love with Janine that he didn't care what she did on the side.
Which makes investigators wonder what he knows about her pregnancy.
Do you know who the father was?
No. She didn't state who the father was. And I told you I loved her. Didn't matter.
Yeah, but what about Mr. Moore? Because, you know, a man in your situation might think about running him over.
People flip and they lose control of all their senses.
We just want to let you know that we're investigating Jeffrey Moore's death as a possible homicide.
He's dead?
When pressed further, Marshall insists he had nothing to do with Jeffrey's death, but he knows who did. According to Marshall, Janine had returned home early this morning, not only high, but also distraught.
Baby, what's up?
I did something terrible.
Janine said she hit Jeffrey by accident with the SUV, then panicked and fled the scene.
You gotta turn yourself in. You gotta do the right thing. You gotta do the right thing. I love you.
I'm scared.
Of course, detectives have good reason to doubt Marshall's story.
It was Marshall's SUV that killed Jeff.
Police weren't blind to the fact that there were numerous reasons why Marshall might make up a story like this. Perhaps he was Janine's accomplice and loaned her the SUV to get rid of Jeffrey. Or possibly he was the killer and trying to lay blame on Janine and make her pay for what she had put him through.
One of the questions that you ask is, did you know that she had your car? One of the other questions you ask is, did he have prior knowledge of the incident itself?
Let's face it, it's a pretty far-fetched story. What kind of boyfriend gives his girlfriend his SUV so that she can go cheat on him and do drugs with her lover?
Police hope getting Janine's side of the story will shed some light on the truth. But she's hardly in ideal shape for an interview.
Myself and my partner met Miss Harrington.
Janine, tell us about your relationship with Jeffrey Moore. Miss Harrington!
Huh? What was the question?
She was nodding off. She said she hadn't slept in hours, like 24 hours. She even said she had been smoking crack.
In an attempt to get Janine to focus, detectives revealed to her the tragic truth about Jeffrey.
He's dead, Miss Harrington.
Oh, God. No.
She was distraught and she was crying.
No, I loved him so much. I didn't.
Janine, calm down. Tell us about the events that happened this morning.
Yeah, okay.
The beginning of Janine's story appears to corroborate what her boyfriend already told them.
She said she had borrowed his SUV the night before to see Jeffrey.
She said they got the crack cocaine.
And says she and Jeffrey smoked all night long.
But Janine says that come morning, the couple still wanted another fix.
They spoke about getting some crack cocaine and splitting it up.
Janine explains that after they made the purchase that morning, Jeffrey suddenly reneged on the deal.
Jeffrey chose to keep a majority of the drug that they purchased.
Get back here!
I gotta go!
I know you took it! Get back here!
Took what? I gotta go!
Get back! Where the hell you think you're going? Get back!
Jeffrey got on his bicycle and started traveling westbound on Chauncey. Janine got angry and got into the vehicle.
She said her intention was really to follow closely enough behind him, just to scare him.
And then something went horribly wrong.
She drove towards Jeffrey. She went to hit the brake pedal, but instead hit the gas and struck Jeffrey on the bicycle. And pushed him numerous feet into a brick wall and back down to the street and then fled the scene.
She said she was smoking crack, so she wasn't, in her right mind.
After hearing Janine's story, detectives ask her if she'll go on record with her version of the events.
After reading her Miranda warnings, she agreed to everything.
They do what they call a video confession.
But by this time, Janine is crashing fast.
Janine.
She was able to answer the answers, but she had to be woken up several times during the interview.
Stay with us, Janine. Come on. We need to get this.
And despite the confession, detectives still aren't sure they fully believe their suspect's story.
She knows she did something terribly wrong, and now it's just let me cover myself. So she is going to try her best to make up a story that sounds feasible to anyone who's listening.
But it's also just as possible that, well, this is just, the excuse that she's making.
Still, given Janine's drug-addled state, it's too early to rule anything out just yet.
She didn't have enough sleep. She was doing crack all night. So these things can definitely affect her ability to be clear about the brake or the gas pedal.
Then there's the question of Janine's boyfriend and what he may or may not know about Jeffrey's death.
Marshall Carpenter, Janine's boyfriend, I would imagine was really heartbroken about the situation. I could see where that would be a reason for him to want to go after Jeff.
They obviously knew why the police had showed up at their doorstep. They could have concocted Janine's whole story.
Marshall could have convinced his girlfriend that pretending this was an accident would guarantee her a lesser sentence.
For police, though, it's all just speculation, and what detectives need now is more evidence.
At this point, they don't know what to charge Janine with. Murder, manslaughter, accomplice, or accessory after the fact.
Until a witness comes forward who says he saw exactly what happened.
You hit somebody with a 2-ton car. It's just like you pointed a gun at somebody.
Less than 12 hours after police in Brooklyn, New York began investigating the hit-and-run death of 47-year-old Jeffrey Moore, Janine Harrington, the victim's pregnant lover, admitted to accidentally killing him.
She was under the influence of crack. She was not thinking clearly.
She said she mistook the gas pedal for the brake pedal.
But detectives don't know if Janine is telling the truth.
What if she's covering for her boyfriend she took to hell and back? What if she's saying it was an accident to get a lighter sentence?
As investigators scour the neighborhood, they soon catch what looks like a lucky break.
They find this individual, Rashawn James, and he lived in an apartment building that directly overlooked where the hit and run occurred.
Did you happen to have witnessed it by chance?
Yeah, I was looking out my window. I saw everything. It was plain as day.
That witness said that he had saw the entire thing from start to finish.
Rashawn says he saw this man riding down the street on his bike.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, an SUV comes barreling down the wrong way on a one-way street.
He then says that the man on the bicycle rode onto the sidewalk and the vehicle followed.
Then the vehicle struck the victim while he was on his bicycle. The SUV pushed him numerous feet into a brick wall.
Person driving realized that the bike that the victim was driving was trapped underneath the SUV.
And then she got out of the car. She was standing over him. She was crying.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no.
Rashawn's description of the woman matched Janine Harrington to a T.
But it's what Rashawn claims Janine did next that floors detectives.
The next thing you know, she pulls the bike out from the SUV, throws it in the street, backs up, runs him back over, and then she fled down the street.
It's a horrifying description, starkly at odds with Janine's version of the events.
She said she accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake, but Mr. Moore was dragged 50 feet. A decision could have been made to hit the brake after that. And then she had it in her mind to get out of the vehicle, pull a bicycle out that was stuck, then run over the victim for the second time. To me, that's intentional.
Thank you for your time, sir.
I don't believe anyone would say that that's an accident.
After hearing the witness's story, detectives finally rule Marshall Carpenter out as the killer.
Marshall Carpenter was eliminated as a suspect for the simple fact that the witness stated that there was a woman driving.
Though detectives continued to investigate him as a possible accessory, they never found any evidence that he helped Janine or even knew about her intentions in advance.
Less than 24 hours after Jeffrey Moore's killing, Janine Harrington is arrested on charges of second-degree murder and possession of a deadly weapon.
The automobile is a weapon at this point.
Anytime you kill somebody, whatever you use, that becomes a weapon.
Janine was arraigned and held without bail.
But for the victim's family, knowing Janine is behind bars does little to stem their pain.
My family have really, really suffered from this. We're still trying to mend the wounds.
As the case moves to trial, detectives continue gathering evidence against Janine.
They uncovered a lot of stories from friends and acquaintances about Janine's violent behavior towards Jeffrey.
From what I heard, when they get the little arguments, she hit him with pot, bat, pen, and stuff like that.
And according to these witnesses, this wasn't the first time she had tried to hit Jeffrey with a car.
3 weeks before, she tried to run him over.
Though Janine initially claimed that drugs made her drive recklessly, it seems more likely they amplified her already hostile feelings toward her boyfriend.
Drugs enhance whatever feelings you have. So if you're angry, it's going to take it to the next level. The fact that Janine was on drugs, it just magnified the rage or the anger to the 10th degree.
But if Janine's lawyers have their say, she may never go to trial.
They had a hearing, determine whether her confession was given under the right circumstances.
The defense's theory is she wasn't of sound mind. She was high and she had been deprived of sleep.
Janine, it's a basic constitutional law that the amendment protects you from self-incrimination. And based upon the fact that you were under the influence, you can make an argument that you weren't doing it knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily, because you were under an influence of either some kind of substance, either it be alcohol, narcotics, or some kind of influence that basically impaired your faculties.
While prosecutors don't dispute the defense's claim about Janine's inebriated state, they claim that her videotaped confession is incontrovertible proof that Janine understood exactly what she was confessing to on May 29, 2007.
We asked her if she would be able to write her statement down. She agreed to everything and signed them.
On August 26, 2009, when the judge renders his decision, he sides with the district attorney.
He basically said she knew where she was, she knew what she was doing. He determined that she was coherent enough to give a voluntary statement.
And though it's a win for Jeffrey Moore's loved ones, Janine Harrington is about to deliver another punch to the stomach.
She didn't care what she did to him. She mean and evil. That's what she was.
Less than 24 hours after the hit-and-run killing of her lover, Jeffrey Moore, 25-year-old Janine Harrington found herself behind bars and facing a second-degree murder charge.
Janine's story to police was that she hit him accidentally while under the influence of drugs. The witness testimony says she hit him intentionally, then lied to police.
And now, Janine is about to be unmasked for yet another deception.
After Janine was locked up, everybody was waiting to find out whether the baby was Jeffrey's or her boyfriend's. As it turns out, she isn't pregnant, and maybe she never was.
It's a suspicion Jeffrey's family has long held.
He told me she was pregnant. And when I saw her at my sister's house for the first time, that girl ain't pregnant. She look pregnant to me. Like that.
Some women use this as a manipulation tactic or tool to get what they want from the men, either to keep them in a relationship or to get things, money or whatever.
She pretends she was pregnant to keep him around her. So, because we always told him to stay away from her. So that's when she used the pregnant line.
On July 9th, 2009, when Janine's trial begins, the Brooklyn courtroom is filled with supporters for both sides.
My mom and the rest of my Uncle Jeffrey's siblings went.
Janine's boyfriend, Marshall, was there too. He stuck by her. The man really meant what he said when he told police that he would love his girlfriend no matter what she did.
In their opening arguments, prosecutors highlight Janine's increasing threats and actions against Jeffrey in the weeks preceding his death.
There was pressure mounting in their relationship that was causing her to lash out. Maybe it was the drugs. Maybe it was Jeffrey's sisters telling him to stay away from her. Maybe it was a combination of both.
Prosecutors say either way, what happened on the morning of May 29, 2007 was no accident. They assert that after an overnight drug binge, Janine finally went over the precipice.
Janine was allegedly angry at Jeffrey for hoarding drugs that morning. The drug issue really amplified emotions.
Her attitude was she wasn't going to be denied the drugs and she was going to get her revenge. This would be called a passionate crime. There's some kind of anger, some kind of emotional attachment to this individual. That's why she would do this.
To prove that the killing was an intentional act, prosecutors call Rashawn James to the stand to describe what he saw the morning Jeffrey Moore was murdered.
He saw a woman run him over, get out of the car, then run him over again.
She didn't stop. She wanted to end.
And when the medical examiner testifies, he suggests that Jeffrey might have survived had Janine not run him over a second time.
It was probably the time that he took the hardest impact to the vehicle, which probably caused his death.
But the defense counters that while Janine was guilty of driving under the influence, she wasn't a calculated killer.
All of this happened as a result of Janine's drug addiction. It was an accident based on her not being in the proper headspace.
In an attempt to prove their competing narratives, the prosecution and defense both play portions of Janine's videotaped confession.
The jury was able to see her demeanor, how the questions were posed to her, the demeanor of the police officers, and that basically gave them something to make their decision on.
But which version of the story will the jury believe?
The jury came back with a verdict of guilty, but on a reduced charge of second-degree manslaughter.
That basically meant the jury accepted the defense's argument that this killing resulted from Janine's reckless drug use rather than a maliciously conceived criminal act.
This was like what we call a compromise verdict, where they basically gave both sides a little bit. They split the loaf, in other words.
She might think she getting away with now, but she got to deal with God. Come around and go around.
Janine Harrington had a problem way before she got with my uncle. And maybe whatever they were doing together triggered something terrible in her. You would have to be troubled to do something like that. And I don't know what her issues were or her troubles, but it could have been anything that triggered that kind of dysfunction.
At the sentencing on August 26, 2009, Jeffrey's sister Jade makes an impassioned plea to the judge to sentence Janine as harshly as possible.
She said that this crime really ripped the family apart, that it ruined their lives.
She didn't hate Janine, but she thought she was very evil and that she should go to jail for this.
But when the judge asks the defendant if she'd like to say anything, she declines.
Janine Harrington didn't apologize to the family, didn't show any remorse.
She didn't care what she did to him.
Under the sentencing guidelines for manslaughter, the judge hands down a relatively harsh sentence.
The range was 3.5 to 15 years. And she ended up getting 5 to 15.
I don't know if justice was served. I just know that I don't have an uncle anymore. And I don't know why. That's all I know.
For Janine's boyfriend, Marshall Carpenter, it's a sad ending to their already troubled story.
Marshall Carpenter is without a girlfriend, and he's trying to proceed with his life.
But moving on feels almost impossible to the Moore family.
I miss them a lot. I miss seeing them and the families together.
Nothing can ever bring Jeff Moore back, and that's a difficult thing.
And his siblings still can't let go of a painful question. Might this all have turned out differently if only Jeffrey had resisted the powerful pull of drugs and the allure of a much younger woman?
I tried to do all I could do to help them. Just kept going back. But regardless what life he lived and what life he chose, he's my brother, and we all love him.